Good evening. Welcome to 90-day University Prof pre-final mastery course of Auricle. Today is the first session of environment and health, and today we'll be discussing about the short essays and the long essays on rapid revision of all the important questions from previous year question papers, which are most expected from all the exams. These are the questions. The first question is air pollution sources, effects, prevention and control, and methods of purification of water and and household purification of water. Short answers will be discussing about greenhouse effect, residual chlorine, and requirement of residual chlorine, and various methods of purification of water. Again, it is a repetition from the first question. Okay. Oracle is a platform where it provides you 5 modes of teaching, that is recorded classes, live classes, practical sessions, exam modules, and as well as hard copy book sets. In recorded classes, you'll be having convenient revision of all the subjects where you can learn flexibly wherever you go. You can get the classes on your mobile or tab or your laptop. Okay. And all the classes will be taken by our expert instructors. Live classes, you'll be having in-depth coverage of minimum of 10 years previous year question papers, which are commonly asked, and our experienced educators will guide you for your answer writing skills also. And you will be having MCQ polls also in between. And express exam module, we have complete syllabus coverage in 20 hours, which is a comprehensive and an efficient one. And answer writing skills will be taught to you in diagrams, flowcharts, or if in the point wise. And you'll be learning from the experts from the field. And you'll be having one-to-one doubts clearing session also, where you can ask any kind of doubt, any smallest form of doubt also, where it will be a safe learning environment for all the students with a student centric approach. And you'll be given one-to-one attention so that you can get your questions or doubts, or if you need any clarifications, will be given to you so that you go with a complete confidence to your exams. Not the only video recordings, you will be getting the hard copy book sets also, so that you will get complete way of learning, both offline and online. And you'll be having MCQs, polls, YOC, and many more. And you'll be having a question bank also, which gives you 3 levels of expertise, that is from beginner to expert level, which is customized for your exam preparedness, and it covers MCQs for your professional exams, NEET PG, and FMGE exams. In practical sessions, you will be giving hands-on experience by our experts, so that you can go with your exams, practical exams, with complete confidence. For this, we have 4 subscription plans, that is 3 months plan at 19,999, advanced learning plan at 32,999, and complete learning plan at 59,999. Whereas the ultimate MBBS plan, which is for 4 years, you will be getting at 1.9 lakhs. Not to worry or disappointed, you will be having a good discounts also, which by using the discount codes below. Okay. With this, we'll be starting our first question for today. That is, we'll go with the case scenario. You might have heard the news every winter that capital city has been grappling with severe air pollution for years and experiences hazardous air quality levels, especially during winter months. And this scenario explores the causes, effects, and measures taken to address air pollution in the Delhi. Okay. Similar case scenario, we have a same question, and we'll be learning what will be the sources, prevention, and control. Okay. In long essay, we have air pollution, sources, effects, and prevention and control. Okay. First, we'll see what is air pollution. Any answer, you start off with an introduction or a definition. Air pollution is the release of pollutants such as gases, particles, biological molecules, etc., into the air that is harmful, not helpful, that is harmful to human health and environment, not just the human beings and the environment. What does all environment include? Everything apart from humans. Okay. Release of pollutants such as gases, particles, biological molecules into the air that is harmful to human health and environment. Okay. What are the types of pollutants which are there? Before this, we'll start off with the poll. If it is there today, I don't think so. There is no poll today. Okay, there is no poll today. We'll continue with it. There are two types of pollutants. One is primary air pollutants and secondary air pollutants. Primary air pollutants are that are emitted into the atmosphere from a source. Okay, there is a source for the primary pollutant. It is coming from somewhere. It could be a factory chimney or exhaust pipe or vehicles exhaust, etc. Okay, it is possible to measure this. If you put a meter of how much of uh, exhaust gases is coming out of the particular vehicle, you can measure it. Okay, and if you screen for the pollutants, you will be able to know how much of quantity of the pollutant of particular categories there, whether it could be a carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, or sulfur dioxide, or it could be a particulate matter, or it could be an inorganic matter. This you can measure in primary air pollutant, whereas in secondary air pollutants, you can't measure. Okay. Why? Because these are air pollutants which are formed within the atmosphere itself because of these people. The first air pollutants, primary air pollutants, they undergo chemical reactions during the natural components of the atmosphere because the nature contains sunlight, which gives energy, oxygen, and again space is there. Okay. So when they go and enter into a chemical reaction, the secondary pollutants are formed. Okay. The common example is ozone, which arises entirely from the chemical reactions that differ from the altitude within the atmosphere. Means the pollutants are already there. They form one more pollutant which will destroy, which is again harmful in nature. Okay, these are called secondary air pollutants. What are the sources? You just have to put your common sense into the work. You can get n number of sources of air pollution. First, what we see is we'll start off with our life. What we do, get up in the morning, we will go to office or college by bike or a car. Again, vehicular pollution. Whether it is a bike, car, truck, or public transport, again, everything leads to air pollution. Okay. What are the common pollutants? Carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxide, and particulate matter. Okay. And where do we live? In the house, which requires construction. Where do we study? Again, a building which requires construction. Okay. The construction, the materials which are used in construction, like cement or limestone, they lead to a production of toxic gases which causes respiratory problems. Okay. Even production of cement leads to huge air pollution. For all these things, for your truck or car, you need industries. These industries again emit pollutants and organic compounds which are harmful in nature. Okay. And the fourth one, what we know is agricultural activities. Agricultural activities per se does not form, but whatever the extra things we do with the agriculture, like you have a plot, you have a wheat which has been harvested, and there's a stubborn left out now. Now we want to harvest something else within a short span of time. What do we do with the stubborn? Burn it. Stubble burning is one of the causes for air pollution. We use pesticides while Cultivating crops, again, they cause air pollution. They release ammonia and methane into the air. And the fertilizers which are used in the agricultural activities, again, they release dangerous vapors and gases which pollute the air. Mining activities. In recent days, iron mining, coal mining has led to lots of air pollution. Okay, because the dust, so much of dust and the smoke is created during mining. It is enormous in nature. Okay, but they just does not pollute air only. They include water also. Okay, there's water pollution also because of mining. Deforestation. Northeast is called as lungs of India, whereas even the mining activities which are happening in Northeast also leads to air pollution. There is decreased clearance of the pollutants, so that there is always the increase in air pollution. Okay. Using of fossil fuels like natural gas for cooking, burning coal and oil for transportation, which leads to release of sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and carbon monoxides. Okay. What are the effects? We'll go system by system. Respiratory effects system, we have asthma, chronic bronchitis because of the particulate matter, sulfur dioxide, which can already exacerbate the present asthma and cause chronic respiratory infections. A decline in lung function over a period of time, especially in children and elderly. When you can find out this by doing spirometry. Okay. Increased respiratory infections. Once there is impairment in the lung function, there is always a chance of infections. The infections can be just from throat pain till pneumonia. Okay, it is a huge spectrum which can lead from end to end. Coming to the cardiovascular system, exposure to fine particulate matter. When do you say it is fine particulate matter? If it is less than 2.5 microns. Okay, has higher risk of cardiac arrest, arrhythmias, hypertension, and stroke. Atherosclerosis, again because of particulate matter, plaque buildup in the arteries leading to atherosclerosis. Again, the air pollutants can increase the risk of blood pressure over a period of time if there is exposure in the for longer time in the air pollution. It can increase the risk of hypertension. Nervous system, there is chances of cognitive decline and dementia because of again particulate matter 2.5, and there's increased risk of neurodegenerative disease like Alzheimer's. Okay, and there are studies have linked that air pollution in, increases the risk of depression and anxiety. Developmental issues in children, this is more common nowadays. That is, prenatal and early exposure to air pollution can affect brain development, leading to learning difficulties and behavioral problems. Reproductive health, fertility issues will be more rampant in the next coming few years. Pregnancies, complications, again, low birth weight, preterm, and developmental issues. Cancer, this is the one which causes the lung cancer. And this, where do we get this from? From burning fossil fuels. Okay. And bladder cancers and other cancers are because of benzene and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. Again, immune system gets weakened day by day, and there is a risk of autoimmune disorders like arthritis and lupus. And in skin, you can see the premature aging because of exposure to pollutants and increasing in rise in temperatures. All these lead to early aging, leading of wrinkles and dark spots and loss of elasticity. And other things you can have psoriasis and acne. Okay. How do we prevent? Prevent is very simple. Any pollution, if you want to control, control the consumption or control the usage or control the production. Reducing emissions from vehicles. How do you reduce? Using public transport, carpooling. Instead of using vehicles, go for a biking or walking to reduce the number of vehicles on the road. Promote use of electric or hybrid vehicles. Again, I would say this is still a discussion topic because what does the disposal of batteries do? Right? Regular maintenance of vehicles. Yes, this is very important one, which will improve the efficiency and reduce the emission of pollutants. Like still, Bharat stage 4 is going on and Bharat stage 6 has already come in, which reduced the pollutants, but still the Bharat stage 4 vehicles are running on the road. They are contributing for majority of the pollutants. This takes over a period of time to change over from one technology to other technology. Industrial emission controlling by implementing cleaner production and techniques and technologies, upgrading the equipments, using scrubbers, filters, and electrostatic precipitators to capture pollutants in the chimneys. Okay, before they are released into atmosphere. Switching to cleaner fuels and renewable energy resources. Solar energy, one of the renewable resources. Energy efficiency, again, improving energy efficiency in homes, buildings, and industries to reduce demand for fossil fuels. Using energy efficient appliances and lighting. Use of LEDs instead of incandescent bulbs is one of the example. Insulating buildings to reduce heating and cooling needs. Now there is requirement of AC in summers and warmers in winters. Instead of that, use of proper heating, insulating buildings can lead to reduce of these two. Again, reducing of these two can reduce so much of energy consumption. Enforcing strict air quality standards and emissions like BS4 to BS6, implementing what we say, if any company has introduced a newer technology and they have invested on that which reduces the pollution, they should be given some incentive. How does this incentive give? Either by subsidizing the equipment or by giving the tax benefits. Promoting policies that support renewable energy and efficiency. How do we control? Air quality monitoring, that is continuous monitoring of the air quality index and identifying the pollution sources and levels. Okay. Nowadays, you can see in the metro cities that AQI will be displayed in majority of the public places. Okay. Pollution control devices. Use of scrubbers in the exhaust chimneys, electrostatic precipitators to remove the particles from the exhaust gases, and use of catalysts to convert. There is a platinum in your vehicle which reduces the harmful emissions from your vehicle exhausts. Okay. Urban planning. I can give one harsh example in this. Construction of number of houses in the metro cities. Even though they are lying vacant, there is no control over the requirement of accommodations and the accommodations which are created, which are leading to consumption of cement and other things, which is leading to huge pollution. Implementing of zonal laws to separate industrial areas from residential areas. Okay. For example, when you see in Bangalore, there's a company called Graphite, which is located within the city, within and the exact periphery of the city. It is not the problem of the company. It was planned earlier that that city would not expand till there, but it expanded till there. So careful planning would lead to reduced pollution. Awareness in public and educating them about air pollution will also help in reducing the pollution. At the end of the day, it is the reduction in consumption will reduce the pollution of any kind. With this, we'll come to the second question. What are the various methods of purification of water and mention clearly about household purification of water? There are water purification method can be classified into two types. That is large scale and small scale. Okay. In large scale, it is storage, filtration. Under filtration, we have slow sand and rapid sand filters, followed by chlorination. For small scale, we have household purification and disinfection of the well. Under household purification, we have boiling, chemical disinfection, filtration, ultraviolet irradiation, and multi-stage reverse osmosis purification. Okay. We'll see household purification of water of all these five types. First, we have boiling. It is most common satisfactory method for household purposes. How do we boil the water? It must be boiled to rolling boiling. That is, the boiled water should come up and go down again. For how long you will boil it? For 10 to 20 minutes. It kills almost all spores, bacteria, cyst, ova, and yields. You will get sterilized water. Okay. It also removes temporary hardness by driving off carbon dioxide and precipitating calcium carbonate at the bottom of the vessel. What is the disadvantage of this? Taste is little bit altered, but not harmless. But this is very much harmless. Sorry, it is not harmful. Okay. While boiling is an excellent method, there is no residual protection against any subsequent like if you don't close the lid again, there is a risk of contamination. That is the one con. And boiling of water in the same container should be stored in the same container to avoid contamination, and it requires energy also. Okay. Next, we will use bleaching powder or chlorinated lime. It is what does the bleaching powder is? It is a white amorphous powder with a pungent smell. Okay. When freshly made, it contains 33% of available chlorine. This is what it contains. 100 grams of bleaching powder can give you 33% of available chlorine. Okay, active chlorine we can say. While bleaching powder is an unstable compound. If you leave it open, again it gets vaporized and chlorine is released into the atmosphere. Okay, on exposure, light and moisture, it loses its chlorine content. But when mixed with excess lime, it retains its strength. It is called stabilized bleach. When you mix it and keep it with a lime, again it will be helpful in maintaining the content of it. That's all. Okay. So how do we store it? It should be stored in a dark, cool, and dry place in a closed container that is resistant to corrosion, preferably plastic one. Okay. And what is the principle? Principle is very simple. You will have to add so much of chlorine to water so that it gives at least 0.5 mg of residual chlorine at the end of 1 hour contact period. Okay. I have not discussed chlorination completely here because it is a long essay, and it has asked describe all the methods of water purification at household level. Okay. But you can't use chlorination in highly polluted and turbid waters. Chlorine solution, how it is prepared? If 4 kg of bleaching powder with 25% of allowable chlorine is mixed with 20 liters of water, it will give you 5% solution. Okay. You can divide it by 4 if you want. This is for ease of remembrance only. Okay. Ready-made solutions also are available in the market, like which are things used in the COVID, like 5% sodium hypochlorite solution. Sorry, 4% hypochlorite solution, which by adding 4 liters of water, it will give you 1% solution. Similarly, okay. Again, if you open and keep it, it will lose its uh, chlorine content in that. High test hypochlorite is one thing which you can use. It is a perchloron calcium compound. It is again a chlorine compound with a calcium. It contains 60 to 70% of chlorine. Okay, it is more stable and deteriorates less, and it can be stored for longer time. And there are solutions again are available for this also. And next we have is halogen tablets, which are available in the market. They're very good for what we say when you go on trekking or outdoor activity or something like that, then you can use those. This is developed by National Environmental Engineering Research Institute, which is there in Nagpur. Okay. These tablets are available in various strengths like 1 gram, 2 gram, 3 grams. Okay. 1.5 gram, that is 500 milligrams, is sufficient to disinfect at least 20 liters of water. That is the capacity of this water. It is very concentrated one. Iodine used for emergency disinfection of water by adding 2% ethanol solution of iodine will suffice 1 liter of clear water. You can't use it in a turbid water. Contact time is at least 20 to 30 minutes for effective disinfection. It does not react with ammonia and other organic compounds like chlorine. So if you are suspecting any ammonia or organic compound contamination or mixture, so it is better not to use iodine, go for chlorination. So since it is not there, it can't be used for iodine can't be used for by the municipality departments or large scale also. Potassium permanganate, once it was used, now it is not used because of so many reasons. Powerful oxidizing agent and not very much satisfactory. It may kill Vibrio culture, but not all the organisms. So and it has after potassium permanganate is added, it becomes pink color, which is very difficult to read, and it is somewhat like metallic. So it is not good for consumption also. Next, we have filtration methods. There was this filter we have used in our over the children born before around 1995 or 96 or 2000. These filters were available at all the homes. It is called as Bergfeld filter, made up of diatomaceous earth known as Kesselger. Invented in Germany in 1991, and by 1922 was being marketed in United Kingdom by Bergfeld Filter Company. Okay, was the name of the owner of the mine in the Hanover, hence it was named after him. It looks like this. It is a filter housing of two metal or plastic cylinders sitting one on one top of the other. This is the inner one, and this is the outer one. Okay, the upper one has a lid and can be filled with impure water, and in the bottom of the upper there is a cylinder here. This cylinder has diatomaceous earth and filter columns. In between, there will be a hollow passage so that the water can seep in and come down. Will be like this. The water comes from here, from the seeping out, seeping in basically. It is basically by the gravity, then trickles down to the lower cylinder when it is stored. Okay, and it can be tapped off as required. How to clean it? It has to be cleaned every month by harsh rubbing over the cylinder, that is which is there inside there, and it should be boiled in the water so that the whatever the scales are settled over on it will be removed. And it is one of the cheapest one which I have seen, and it was used in our homes long back. Then we have ultraviolet irradiation. Germicidal property of UV rays was identified so many years ago. Okay, it can known to be effective against all the yeast, viruses, fungi, algae, and protozoa, and bacteria also. Okay, this method involves exposure of film of water up to 120 mm thick, that is 12 centimeters. Okay, and we have what is the wavelength required is 254 nanometer wavelength ultraviolet radiation is required. Okay, it is limited to individual or institutional systems. It can't be used when there's a water supply by the city. to a whole city, there it can be used. It can be used at homes, or it can be used in hospitals or institutions or health institutions, etc. The water should be free from turbidity and suspended and colloidal constituents for efficient disinfection. So most of the times in next we'll be seeing RO process. Nowadays, the companies also have included the UV irradiation, which is the last stage of irradiation. Okay, it is for short period, no foreign matter to be introduced, and no taste or change in color is produced. Okay, overexposure does not result in any harmful effects. The disadvantages, it requires the apparatus which is expensive. Okay, next we have the most common one which is used in all our homes, that is multi-stage reverse osmosis purification of water. So we simply say it is RO water. Okay, it, what does it do? It makes your water potable both chemically and microbiologically by reducing TDS, hardness, heavy metals, disease-causing bacteria, virus, protozoa, and cysts, because it contains filters for all these things. Okay, clarity cartridge removes the suspended for particles such as dust, mud, and sand, and reverse osmosis cartridge reduces the TDS, hardness, heavy metals, and eliminates the microorganisms. Nowadays, we have multi-stage process. Multi-stage means this is only two stages which we are talking about. The companies give you 6 to 7 stages also. You can't remember what not. It gives you the alkalinity also, acidity also. You can give the manual TDS, auto TDS, and it gives you UV radiation, iron added, copper added, alkaline. So many things, you get confused which model to choose in the market. First, we have the water, which is there, which is comes into the clarity cartridge, and chemi block, followed by RO membrane, and followed by taste enhancer cartridge. It is, you just have to add the water which is having normal more TDS to this, it becomes the taste enhancer, nothing more than that. Okay, these are the stages of water purification at household level. And now we will go to the short answers. What is greenhouse effect? Is the first question. Greenhouse effect is a natural process that warms or keeps your earth surface warm. Okay, how it works? How does it happen? Why does it require? Solar radiation, every day there is a sunlight. When the sunlight reaches the earth's surface, at atmosphere, and reaches the surface, earth absorbs the sunlight, this solar energy, and it is re-radiated. The heat is radiated back as infrared radiation, that is heat, because you don't the earth does not reflect the light, it absorbs and releases the heat as the energy. Okay, it is required. We'll see this requirement, we'll see the importance why it is required. There are certain gases in the atmosphere like carbon dioxide, methane, water vapor, nitrous oxide, and trap these, all these trap this heat energy or heat radiations and prevent it escape from going out of the atmosphere into the space. Okay, hence this increases the temperature of the earth's surface. Okay, this warming effect, I should have told this before itself. Before this radiation heat is required. Why it is radiation heat is required? This helps in maintaining the temperatures that supports the sustenance of living of the life. Okay, but what does these greenhouse gases do? They hold this heat and increases the temperature of the earth's surface furthermore. What is the importance? The greenhouse effect is essential for life. It is required as of balance enough to sustain. The enhanced greenhouse effect, because of all these gases, will increase the temperature of the earth and lead to the climate change. Okay, since this climate change has happened, we have lots of problems. We have cloudbursts, we have changed seasons. The seasons are not running accordingly as before. The rain happens whenever it has to happen. Rain happens whenever it feels like now, not whenever it has to happen. And what will happen if there is no greenhouse effect? If there is no greenhouse effect, and normally the average temperature of the earth would be minus 18 degrees. There is 33-degree fall in the temperature. Average temperature of the earth is almost 15 degrees. If there is no greenhouse gases, it will fall to minus 18. That is minus 33 degrees the difference. Okay. It is minus 18. The minus is over here. Okay. So imagine you are living at a minus 18 to 15 degree. It is humanly not possible for the environment or the other living organisms to survive on Earth or to reproduce or to maintain the life. Okay. So there is a natural balance. What we have created, enhanced greenhouse has been created because of the human beings by burning fossil fuels, deforestation, industries, all other things. So take home points is natural process is natural and necessary phenomena. In fact, we have led to environmental and climatic changes. We are using air conditioners more and more because of this climatic changes only. Okay. Next we have residual chlorine. What is residual chlorine? Explain free residual chlorine with a diagram. Is it necessary to have a residual chlorine? Okay. First we'll see what is residual chlorine. It refers to the amount of chlorine that remains in the water after the disinfection process is complete. How much is required after disinfection process is complete? 0.5 milligram per liter, or you can say ppm also, 5 parts per million. It is important measure to ensure that water remains safe for consumption as it travels through the distribution system. There are other reasons also. We'll see in the last slide of this question. Free residual chlorine. When chlorine is added to water, okay, there is a chlorine demand which is required to react with organic, inorganic, and other compounds prior to disinfection. This is the chlorine demand. Okay, this is the total chlorine. As per the demand, you add chlorine. That is total chlorine. Okay. Then there is combined chlorine, which is combined with the organic, inorganic compounds. Whatever what we say, disinfection is done. After the disinfection, they have combined and the chlorine has got separated. That is combined chlorine. Whatever is left out as a free roaming chlorine particles are called as free chlorine. Okay. When chlorine and water is mixed, they become hypochlorous acid. Okay. Hypochlorous acid and hydrochloric acid, that is HOCl, and H plus OCl, that is hydrochloric acid. Sorry, hypochloric acid. Hypochlorous acid is H plus OCl minus. Once hypochlorous acid is formed, they can dissociate into hydrogen ions and hypochlorite ions. This is the formula which we have to remember when your browser question is asked like this. Okay. Now we'll see what is the importance of residual chlorine in drinking water and why is it required to be added at the purification level. Maintaining a certain level of residual chlorine, what is happening is there is a continuous disinfection. Imagine there is a 3 kilometer distance between the chlorination plant and the end user. There's a pipe system which is there to supply the water. That pipe system might have been porous or there might be leakages where there is minor leakage where the water is getting contaminated. This residual chlorine will take care of that through the distribution system. Okay. And it acts as an indicator of water quality. If the water is tested at the end user and if at least 0.5 ppm is of water, chlorine is there, then you can say that chlorine was adequate, chlorination was adequate for the water at the chlorination plant. And prevention of biofilm formation in the water pipes. When there is a water pipe, water movement in the pipes, on the lateral walls of the pipe, there is a algae growth. Okay, this can be prevented by residual chlorine. Maintenance of residual chlorine ensures this, that there is no growth. Again, it is repetition of that safety monitoring and regulatory compliances. Okay. Next, we have what are the various purification methods. You have to just list it out. Again, it is a copy paste from the second question. These are the 5 points which you have to remember: boiling, chemical disinfection, filtration, ultraviolet radiation, and multi-stage reverse osmosis purification. In chemical filtration, it can be chlorination, chlorine tablets, HTST, iodine, KMnO4, that is potassium permanganate. Please do not write these two at the first, you will lose the marks. Chlorination, chlorine tablets, HTST, then iodine and KMnO4. What is HTST? We will see again. Sorry, high test hypochlorite, it was not HTST, HTH. High test hypochlorite, then chlorine tablets, then iodine and potassium permanganate. Okay, these are the 5 methods which are used at home. Filtration again, Bergfeld filter. Ultraviolet radiation is now it is included in this only by many of the companies, which comes as a basic. Ultraviolet radiation, RO followed by ultraviolet, followed by carbon filter, followed by copper filter or iron filter, then alkaline ionization of water. Okay. With this, we'll be completing our class for today. Thanks for watching. We have social media handles at YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Telegram. And we have also have uh, app on Google Play for Android users and app on iOS for Apple users. So please do subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next class.